You are watching WPTV, award-winning college television.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of WP Sports Desk on WPTV. I'm your host, Dylan Burns.
Welcome to another edition of WP Sports Desk on WPTV. I'm your host, Justin Mchugh.
Micah Bate throws out the runner tagging from second to third before the guy tagging from third to home can cross the plate to save a run. I have never, ever seen a play like that in my 21 years of watching baseball.
Her name was Katie Sire. She absolutely killed the Pioneers. She had 29 points and 10 rebounds. Think about it. Those are her season averages. She's averaging 26 and 8 on the season. It's pretty incredible.
There were a lot of trade offers given to him, and he took the worst possible one.
And
in my
how do you
opinion.
even tell the press something like that? Like, yeah, we had a better deal 2 days ago, but we'll settle for this one. Like,
It's just not looking good for me.
As fair as that is, most teams that need the bench or the depth, they always acquire it at the deadline. There's so many deadline moves. The regular season hasn't even started yet. We don't know who's going to be good or not.
Now we have Gabby Harris. Gabby, you had a nice game tonight, 7 and 6, but the shots during that second quarter weren't falling. How did you girls do a good job of getting back together as a group?
Thank you, Juliana, for joining us today.
And thank you so much for having me.
Now, you played 4 years here. It's been a really productive 4 years, so let's take a look at how you played so far in your 4 years. So you played 93 matches since you got here freshman year. In those 93 matches, you played 240 sets.
name me a player outside of Steven Adams on the Thunder who has been to the playoffs.
Well, last year you have the same players who were there last year. Kyle Singler's been in the playoffs.
It was Cuevas at the plate, and what looked like it was just going to be a ground out. The first baseman had an error, and he was going to flip it to the pitcher at the time, as Kelly Jr. at first base, but the ball just fell out of his mitt.
So you got a guy like Micah Bate, who you said hit close to 400, and he's their leadoff batter, so he's almost a guarantee to get on base. Then you got guys following him.
And
like
they said he
Colburn.
might even move to third.
Right.
Because
right.
it doesn't matter.
That's how
Yeah.
well he hits. So there's a lot to be excited for with the Pioneers, especially the returners, because as you said, the guys who were coming back this year were probably their best players from last year.
Welcome back to the desk. My left, I am joined by two special guests, Justin Mchugh and Dylan Burns, who are both WP alumni. Also alongside me is Bailey Matthews and Daniel Karp. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. We greatly appreciate it. So, and before I ask you how it feels to be back, Dylan, I got some award for you here, kid. This is a 2016 Maltese Award for Outstanding Sportscaster, WPC. It's our radio station, as you know.
This is amazing. Yeah, perfect. My 2016 Maltese Award. I'm pretty sure this qualifies to be a fossil now. So thank you. I'm going to see how much this is worth. But yeah, this is fun. This is fun. It's just fun seeing things like this and fun being back in the studio with my man Justin here.
Absolutely.
It's awesome to see you guys continuing the sports desk as well, and what you're doing with it is so much fun. We talked about it a little bit before we went on here. Just how you have allowed yourselves to be loose and be free and really go and just take this thing and run with it is it's awesome to see as I'm coming back. Danny?
Yeah, well, I'll go to our first question. How did participating in not only Sports Desk but also TV Club prepare you for what life looked like outside of college?
I think what was really special about this place is, you know, we're all our own people. We're all unique individuals. We all create great friendships here. And we're all so different, so we all get to express ourselves in our truest form, you know, as creative people. And everyone has different ways of expressing that. So having, you know, 20 people in production, between talent, between the people behind the cameras, besides people switching on the graphics, right? Everyone has a part in creating something special. So being able to come and do this every week for 4 years that I was here at Willie P is just truly incredible. And more importantly, not only did we try our best to make a great product, but it was just all the fun we had, all the smiles, all the laughs. Walking back into these doors, that's like the first thing that comes back for me.
Just driving up the hill. You get flooded back with all the memories and whatnot. And just to answer your question as quickly and as honestly as I possibly can, there's no substitution for the reps that we're getting here
100%.
at the TV club or even upstairs in the radio. There is nothing that's going to prepare you for the actual work life, the workspace, this television, live TV production. There's nothing that is going to prepare you better than getting the live reps here at William Patterson. and Al Clark and everybody and your coworkers, everybody you work with has a say in that. There's always something that you can be learning, whether you're learning from your own mistakes or your own wins. And if you're really, really smart, you're learning from other people's mistakes. And, oh, they did that with that segment. I didn't like that too much. They did that. I like that a lot. Or how did you build that graphic? Or what were you thinking in writing it this way? And things like that. So just the experience of doing it, as basic and as clear-cut as I can make this sound, just doing it. The live reps, there is no substitution for that.
To piggyback off what you said, because I realized I didn't actually answer your question. I was kind of just reminiscing a little bit. 100% true. Just a trial and error, right? Because not to say this obviously matters because we're all learning and we're all applying new things and trying. But it's like if you make a mistake, it's like we're students here. We're just trying our best. This is not doesn't need to be perfection, right? We all get to learn and apply new things. And because you have such a blank canvas here, and you do have state-of-the-art facilities here, because we both have been in multiple professional level television studios, and it's no different.
It's right there with it.
It's exactly what it looks like
right
in
up
there.
there. That control room looks like control rooms that I've been in Manhattan. It looks like control rooms I've been in Los Angeles. Like there's no different. All of this equipment here, and that's really the point I'm making to tie a bow on this is, you have an entire television studio. Do something with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that's not something that everybody gets to say.
Yeah. You don't get better experience than that.
Yeah, it's totally a privilege for all of us.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll move on to the next question. How did you feel entering the field after graduation, being a student at William Patterson compared to if you were a student somewhere else?
Well, I guess that kind of goes hand in hand what we're talking about with the first question, as far as like just the opportunities that are at our disposal between here and the radio station, right? When we were announcing games, we got to travel all around the East Coast, the tri-state area, to go to different colleges, to call these games for like the football team, the basketball team. Like those are indispensable experiences that most kids don't get to have. I've been to colleges where there is no TV program. There is no radio program. So people that want to go into the field of media production or journalism, they never get to have that hands-on experience. So just having that here is truly incredible.
I left William Patterson with a ton of confidence, just knowing the body of work that I put together in my time here, whether it was television or radio or writing for both school newspapers. There is so much here for the students to just enhance their resume, enhance their skills, and really perfect their craft. So knowing that I personally felt like I got the most out of my experience here at William Patterson, I left here with a ton of confidence.
Yep.
And then you go out there, and yeah, you'll hear the Syracuses. You'll hear the Fordhams, but there are so many William Patterson alumni out there in the workforce who are like, oh, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now it used to be Hobart Hall here, but oh, you also had class with Al Clark, and you talk and you'll exchange stories and whatnot, and there is really a sense of community from William Patterson into the workforce that people feel good after leaving here, given the fact that you have all this opportunity, and it's up to you to use it or not. And I feel like you and I,
absolutely,
not to speak for you or anything like that, but I was right alongside you for pretty much the entire journey, and
100%.
you the same with me. Like, we really got the most out of this place.
And just watching that intro package, like seeing myself 8, 9, 10 years ago speaking at this very desk, I think about the kid I was when I first walked in here.
Yeah.
Sitting in front of these cameras and under the bright lights for the first time, hands shaking, heart pumping. I could barely get my words out. I'm not even taking breaths. I'm just flying through my predetermined script in my head.
That hasn't gone away. I'm doing that right now.
Yeah,
I'm having a conversation.
It feels good to be back under the lights again, but just like feeling the transformation from when I first stepped in here to my last show here, just again, the reps has prepared me, has calmed my nerves to go out into the real world, for the lack of a better term, and that definitely helped me prepare for what came next.
I still remember my first A block, stuttering away, hands shaking,
Absolutely.
going really fast, sweating probably right afterwards.
So the first time that, and I know this is about William Patterson TV, but the first time I was upstairs, I got a chance to do the pregame show for a football game. I turned my mic on and I froze like Eminem in 8 Mile. I hope I'm not dating myself.
You are
I froze. I froze. And I literally turned it off, chalked it up to technical difficulties, and then I said, okay, 3, 2, 1, go. And ever since then, I've never had a hiccup on any actual airwaves or anything like that. But it's like, yeah, that nervousness that you have here, hopefully, it's normal to have those butterflies.
100%.
It's normal to
Yeah.
feel nervous.
Yep.
And it's it's kind of like why we do this. It's a little bit of a rush. It's we're not playing sports anymore. We're not competing for championships.
You're retired
or
in high
anything
school.
like that. It's like
We're all high school
yeah,
retired.
exactly,
That's
exactly.
it.
You
Same here.
you figure out what works for you, what gets you going, and kind of this does it. This
absolutely.
This is where it's at.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, to go back to your idea of maturing throughout your time here and watching yourself grow, I really want to know how your idea of a dream job changed when you got to college versus now. Like, how did your concept of what your dream looks like mature as you matured?
Sure. So coming into William Patterson University, I wanted to be a sports writer. I was 17. Obviously didn't care about money. And then I was at a basketball game covering for the newspaper. I saw people down courtside with their headsets on, and I was like, oh, they're announcing the game. That looks like something I want to do. And ever since then, all I ever wanted to do was be a play-by-play man. And quite honestly, my dream since, I guess, 2013 has been to do that, and it hasn't changed. And all I've done is acquire reps here and there. All I've done is learn that until somebody looks me in the face and says, no, you suck, there's always a chance that I'm going to reach my goal. Just that component to figure it out is kind of really how, and navigating the business, I guess, is really the biggest eye-opener of how to realize this dream, because there are people who just have the right last name, and they're going to get that job as soon as they're done with school.
Yeah.
There are people whose mom's best friend is an executive at so-and-so, and then there's, someone like myself. I don't know anybody in this space. I'm the first person in my family trying to navigate this business. I took a job getting coffees just to figure out who I need to talk to get the job I want. Granted, it was a lot of fun. Those coffees that I was getting were for Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, and David Ortiz and things like that. So the journey is nothing like, you can have an idea in your head all you want. It's going to be not even close to that. It's going to be better. It's going to be better. And as long as you tell yourself, okay, as long as I don't quit along the way, there's a really good chance that I'm going to get to where I want to go. So just that resiliency and that wherewithal to, no matter how many doors slam shut in your face, and just understanding how to get the job that you want, I think is paramount. Long story short, I know that was long-winded. That navigating the business, I would say, is the most significant thing to realizing your dream.
Yeah, the passion you have is so awesome. I love that.
Thank you. I love this. I really do. And it started here. That's why we came back.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think for me, similar to how you joke about how you retired in high school, I also retired in high school. I played a couple years of high school basketball. I played left bench.
We were intramural all-stars. Please
We were.
stop selling
Wait,
We
it.
do, yeah.
We were intramural all-stars. I don't want to hear it.
We definitely had a
Brave New
little
Radio
bit.
intramural team went 9-0 last year in the play.
Let's go.
But they lost. We lost in the first round.
Awful.
Yeah.
So that's kind
Wasn't
of
it like the
My-
hockey team's intramural?
No, it's just a group of kids that just got together that just wanted to beat us.
Love it.
Dang.
Real quick on the intramural note, my defining legacy basketball moment in my life is, I think maybe you remember this, during our intramural championship game, I hit the game-winning buzzer beater 3 to win, I think, the B championship. We weren't good enough to play in the A-League, but
Did you get a T-shirt?
I think we got T-shirts. I do have a very grainy Snapchat video somewhere on my phone that I could find for proof after. But to go back to what you're asking about, as far as my dreams coming into college, right? When I was in high school, I knew I was not going to make any money playing basketball because I am a 5'9" white kid who can't jump. That's not going to take me very far in that
Twins.
sport, right? Okay. That is just reality, right? So then we have to think about, it's like, all right, I know I want basketball to be in my life in some capacity. I know I want to make a career out of it, so how can I do this? I grew up watching Inside the NBA on TNT. I was like, I want to be Ernie Johnson. That was my dream coming to college. I wanted to be sitting in your desk with 3 or 4 professional athletes just having fun, talking about the game. I did quickly realize, unfortunately, that's a tough mountain to climb, and not to discourage anybody from doing it, but from where I was at, I was dating my girlfriend, who's now my wife. I had a lot of things to think about as far as
sick, by the way.
Thank you. I had to think about the risks in that dream, right? But once I came here, I realized, again, we talk about how amazing these facilities are, and that the world is our oyster. Yeah. There's so many ways to contribute to telling a story about the game, which is ultimately what I want to do, and thankfully what I'm doing now, is tell a story about basketball. I want to be some cog in the wheel where I get to share a really cool story. whether it's be an athlete that came from nothing, whether it's about ushering in the next generation of the NBA stars when LeBron and KD and Steph hang it up. How can I be a part of bringing this young crop of talent to life? And I realized there's more ways to do that than just sitting at the desk. Right. Now, if I got to be Ernie Johnson, that would be awesome, right? But I quickly realized like I can be behind one of these cameras and help the studio, create the show. I could be the one writing the script in the back room that maybe one of you read. I could maybe be with a headset on in the studio, calling the cuts, calling the wipes from camera to camera, right? So I think that was the biggest realization for me when I came here, is there are so many ways to fulfill your dream. You just kind of have to flip how you look at it, right? Mm-hmm. Thankfully, being here and spending 4 years here and meeting great people like Dylan and Professor Al Clark, who helped us learn so many things, that allowed me to widen the scope of my dream. And now, thankfully, after a tumultuous 7 to 8 years, I'm on that path now. And I have this place to thank for.
Sure.
That's awesome.
Before I get to my next question, I need to know, is this the next year?
Is this the next year? I hope so. I sure hope so. The ball is
bias
moving.
aside.
So he's a Sixers fan. He's gonna have fun.
We'll go back. We'll go back in time to
Absolutely.
WP Sports Test for you guys real quick. Is this the next year?
I would say they have as good a shot this year as any year ever. If they decide to play defense, and if Karl Towns would just be a facilitator and get on the block, and be less of somebody that's just heaving up three after three, I think they're in a great spot. I think if Jalen Brunson doesn't over-dribble and he moves the ball, that offense is unstoppable. They're not going to shoot the ball like they're shooting right now. OG Anunoby is shooting something like close to 50%. Right. That's going to slow down as well. But if they are making shots and they are defending and they are moving the ball, the New York Knicks are arguably the best team in the NBA.
In the NBA. I respect it.
Okay.
Okay, I'll take off my biased fan cap here.
Sorry, Al, I had to do this.
This
is fun.
If this isn't the year for the Knicks, then there never will be a year, to be quite honest. And that's just because of the state of the Eastern Conference right now is in disarray for sure. I mean, Giannis is obviously incredible for the Milwaukee Bucks, but the roster is kind of a bit of a mess. They have a little bit of a gem in Ryan Rollins, who's had a great start to the year, but you can't expect 82 games of that level of production from him. Obviously, Jason Tatum might come back this year from his Achilles injury. But we've never seen a player come back so early from an Achilles injury.
And Tyrese Halliburton's out too.
Yeah, Tyrese Halliburton's out, so
and
it's like
that Pacers team lost a lot.
There's so many question marks around all the teams in the East besides the Cleveland Cavaliers and the New York Knicks. Right. Granted, the New York Knicks they obviously have a new outlook with a new coach. They've had Tibbs for a while, so they've obviously made some changes, but I think largely for the better. And obviously, Cleveland's nucleus has been together for a long time, and Evan Mobley continues to make these leaps. He's shown he might be a perennial All-NBA guy for the next 5 years.
And I'm not quite all in on Josh Giddey being the best player on a top-seeded Bulls team in the East.
Sure.
I need a bigger sample size.
There's definitely a lot of question marks in the East, but the Knicks absolutely have their best chance with this nucleus to go to the finals.
This specific year.
Just because the way the chips have fallen in the conference. With that being said,
and in New York, that doesn't happen very often.
With that being said,
not in basketball world, at least.
With that being said, I don't see them beating any team coming out of the West, though. I don't see the Knicks handling the Nuggets. I don't see them handling the Oklahoma City Thunder, who probably will repeat. Right. I don't see them handling the Lakers if they come out of the West. I don't see them handling even the Timberwolves if they come out of the West. And that's not like a diss on the Knicks. Mm-hmm. It's just the strength of the Western Conference right now is insane. And ultimately, the Knicks have maybe 2 years to get it done before they figure out the roster construction in San Antonio. Yeah. Because it's going to be Wemby's league real soon.
You beat me to it.
So you better get your licks in now, NBA teams, because once Wemby is here, he is here for a long time.
I think he already is. It's only going to get better.
Yeah, 100%.
Good luck.
There's some warts with that roster construction because they have 3 talented guards, but I'm not sure if they can really play together long term. But I hope that answers your question.
All right, I'll move on to my actual question.
It's so funny that you guys spent the longest on that one.
Yeah,
it's what we love. This is why we got on the desk, right? Is to talk about this.
Yeah, for sure.
We got to do a little blast in the past.
Absolutely.
If you could go back to your freshman year and with all the information and everything you learned from here, being on the work field, all the places that you've worked at, what would you tell your freshman year self coming into college? You probably have these Ernie Johnson dreams, these high anticipated things. What would you tell yourself with everything you've learned from, I don't know, was it 10 years? Sorry, I don't mean to call you guys uncle or anything, but like.
No, none taken.
It's an honor.
How old are you, by the way?
I just turned 30 in September.
So you're both 30?
I'll be 30 in June. I still got a little ways to go.
Yeah, I hit that milestone.
I got some dog in me still.
what I would tell to my freshman year self is to be intentional about what I'm doing. I came here. There have been, I would say, 450 updates to my software since I have been a freshman. Yeah, and Al Clark is probably in the control room right now saying, "Oh yeah." So we're not here to talk about that.
He definitely just did it just like that. Oh yeah.
But
He furrowed his eyebrows and went,
yeah, exactly. Just being intentional about what I want and how to get it. I feel like, and you know, we were joking around a little bit about all like the different accolades that we accumulated in our 4 years here. You know, reading, writing, radio, television, all that stuff, and it kind of like felt like I did that by accident. Like it almost like I was just doing it without thinking about it, and I wasn't like there was a 6-month stretch. I kid you not, 6-month stretch where I was pulling all-nighters, not every night for 6 months, I would lose my mind doing that, but I was pulling all-nighters in the radio station editing my tape. I was pulling all-nighters putting together my segments, building graphics, like putting in the work because I decided this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I'm not doing anything, and when I say like I went like David Goggins, tunnel vision, I didn't do anything that was not helping me get towards a career of being a play-by-play broadcaster. And when I did that, all those awards started racking up. All that experience started racking up. Doors started flying open. And so I kind of like was a knucklehead for a majority of my time here. But in the times that I was focused, fair. It's not going to change. You shouldn't change that.
People don't change.
Like in the times that I was focused, I saw results. And then kind of just like wasn't mature enough yet to make that a consistency, to have the discipline to keep that going until I was much, much older. Honestly, like I probably didn't grow up until I was like 26, 27, you know, I was still a kid. But somebody told me those 2 words, those completely changed my life, is be intentional. And I lined up my goals, and anything that wasn't in line with them, whether that's people, habits, the food I'm eating, the things I'm drinking, the movies I'm watching, the music I'm listening to, anything that was not getting me closer to my goal was completely removed to my life, and all of a sudden things just got easy. So if I could have learned that lesson any earlier, that would have been it.
Yeah, I mean, Dylan hit the nail right on the head there. I mean, you absolutely have to be intentional because, unfortunately, time stops for nobody, and we are here for, I mean, hopefully only 4 years. I mean, I hope everyone's passing their classes and stuff like that, unless you get a master's program here or whatever, but you're here for 4 years, right? And I would say, if I could give myself a piece of advice for when I first got here, the kid that was 2 hours away from home, first time by himself, no friends, no job, in his dorm room, borderline crying, didn't know what to do to himself, right? Do more. Just do more, right? I reflect on my 4 years here, and I feel like I did a lot. I did a lot of shows here. I did a lot of radio broadcasts. I spent a lot of time in the studio, either in front of the camera or behind it, and I still wish I just did more because it goes quickly. And again, these opportunities are so indispensable. Like you really don't get these chances after you finish college because there's a waiting period between when you graduate and whenever you get your chance to foray in the professional world. Right. And that's not the same time for everybody. Right. Like some people might have something lined up right after college. For me, it took me 20 months to get my first shot in the professional world coming out of college. That's just, unfortunately, the reality. So because of that, I've been able to reflect on all the fun I've had here, and I just wish I did more. I wish I spent more time on the jib. I wish I spent more time practicing camera moves. I wish I spent more time designing packages to be read in front of the green screen. Just like things like that, I feel like I did pretty good, but reflecting now 10-ish years later, I wish I could have done more.
Yeah, and kind of going off what you're saying here, Justin, I wish I kind of approached things with a better attitude. Not that my attitude was negative or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I wish I approached my classes as an opportunity to build a body of work. Yeah. Like if you're doing TV news and your assignment is to put together a TV package, that should be something that you pour yourself into so that you can show to employers in case you want to be a producer after this. Every time that's pretty much like, I wish I used everything. I was of the mindset that all of this can be used towards getting a job that I want versus a class that I just have to get through.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure that's something that a lot of people here need to hear.
Yeah.
you know?
And can't, yeah. So it's like I said it in the control room. Like you want to just hand this in, get a seat, and that'll get you through the week. Or do you want to put together something that you're proud of putting your name on?
100%.
And that you maybe want to show to a potential employer, might not be right away, but 3 years later, when you graduate, and it's like, oh, we're looking for somebody who has experience filming in the field, editing it, perfecting the audio, doing it all, putting together everything. And some kids are like, oh, I did an assignment like that, and they'll say it, that's great. Here's what I've done. Here's what I've done. Here's what I've done. Here's what I've done. It's all about what you can show employers.
Right.
And also, too, to put a bow on it, I think it's important to remember, we're 8-9 years removed from college, right? So, like, if you are reflecting about your decision-making now, like, we're so much, we're a lot older, we're more mature, we had time to reflect on those stuff, so it's important to give yourself some grace, right? So if you look back 2 years ago, it's like, I wish I did this a little different, I wish I did this better. You could be constructive with yourself, but don't harm yourself over all the things maybe you could have done. Ultimately, you just take that with you and you apply that effort to your next stop, like your next chance, the next swing you get at whatever that thing may be. Be constructive on yourself, but like, don't be so hard on yourself as well. Because we change as we get older, and we learn things that we didn't think about when we were 18.
Right, right. There's no time limit on this.
Exactly.
You have to understand also, chances are the job that you want, somebody has been in that chair for a long time, and they probably got that job around like 35, 40 years old.
Yeah.
Like there aren't too many 21-year-old kids out of college producing entire shows, EPing entire networks and things like that. You're going to have to take the job getting coffees. Do it with a smile and do it with a positive attitude. You're going to have to get people's lunch orders. Do it with a smile, do it with a positive attitude. Yes, people to death, and put yourself in the place, in the environment that you ultimately want to be, and then just go there and hustle your rear end off.
Yep.
It's great advice. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time to share your insight with students now. I mean, it's like so valuable to hear someone's perspective from outside of all of this, because sometimes you're just so caught up in what you're doing now. Like, I need to get sports desk done this week. I need to prepare for an FNN shoot. That you lose sight of, like, oh, well, in a year, like, I'm graduating. What do I have ready for that? So it's awesome to have great advice, like super practical.
Absolutely. And the chances are the job that you want, somebody already has, but that's not a negative. It's like that job exists. And if that person can do it, I can do it. So while we were here, and he's still, I'm pretty sure, an awesome resource to this school, Kevin Burkhardt is from William Patterson. He's calling the Super Bowl now. You know?
With Tom Brady. Like
exactly,
come on.
Exactly. And you know, as funny as it turns out, Kevin is one of the people that I ended up getting coffees and lunches for, so I got to network with him. And there's no timetable on it. You know, like if that's what you want to do, whatever it may be, and that's what your heart is set on, there is no expiration date on that until you have like a family and kids. Then you go from doing what you want to do to what you have to do at that point. But it's a grind, and it takes a long time. So your attitude and your resiliency are huge coming out of here. You got to have some thick skin. It's not as polite as it is in the control room. You're not going to have Al Clark to pat you on the back. Sometimes you're going to get mother effed in the workplace. Like that's just what the live TV is. It's get the job done. You know, and it's going to sound a lot meaner than how I'm putting it right now. So just understanding that, like, navigating personalities is a huge part of the workplace as well. Like, it's a lot like high school where people talk, and if you do something that upsets one person and that person goes and tells somebody important, you're out. Like, that's just how it works. So that's why I'm saying do everything with a smile and say yes to everybody, because you never know who somebody is to someone else. And you know, you just want to be known as somebody that works hard with a positive attitude.
And to piggyback off what you said, I think I could speak for Dylan a little bit here too. It truly is a pleasure to be able to come back here and offer something to you all.
Absolutely.
Because there was people, we were in your seat, and we were talking to other professionals, and they had advice to offer us. There's people out there that open doors for us to be able to allow us to do what we do. The reason why I am today is because I met somebody 8 years ago, and they opened the door for me because we just stayed in touch. So it's the least I could do. If someone's going to open the door for me, I'm not going to slam the door behind me. I want to make sure I could open the door for the next person as well. And I think it's important that you all remember that too in life. Like, if somebody brought you to a spot, and granted, we all have to be skilled at what we do, right? It's not up to somebody else, like, but they could help us open the door. and then we could show our worth. So if somebody opens that door for you so you could showcase your worth, it's important that you continue that trend, right? If someone does it for you, then you should do it for the next person, and then that person should do it for the next person. Pay it forward, right? So I'm just grateful after all these years and figuring things out and growing up and maturing and finally being on my way in my career. And I still have so much I want to do. But now that I have something to offer, it's truly a blessing to be able to share these thoughts with you because they are valuable. And I hope that over your next 10 years, you make it wherever you want to be, and then you could offer that same advice to the next person.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's time to conclude this interview. I know I just been sitting here, but it's because we're grateful to have you guys come back here.
Thank you.
Because it's
an
about
honor.
you guys.
Happy to do it.
Giving us all this insight on what the industry is like, so we greatly appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So don't forget to follow us at SportsDeskWP for updates and more. Once again, thank you to these gentlemen right here, Justin Mchugh and Dylan Burns, for taking the time out of their day to be here with us. And thank you to Daniel Karp and Bailey Matthews for producing this interview. And who could forget a wonderful studio manager, Al Clark, for teaching generations of television. That does not go unnoticed. Thank you, Al. And of course, we got to thank the crew and the cast for taking the time out of their day to also be here with us to make all this happen. Once again, I'm Tyler Cooper from Studio B in Hamilton Hall. See you next week on WPTV.